We all know there's a huge migration of families leaving California, but did you know that there was a ton of families that are actually staying in California and moving to San Diego? In fact, Redfin reports that the most searches from out of town searching to move into San Diego is Los Angeles by a landslide, followed by San Francisco, Chicago, and New York. And the reason? Better quality of life. If you landed on this video, you're probably also considering a move to San Diego. The idea of a new chapter is exciting, but at the same time, it's stressful and overwhelming, and you're just not sure, is San Diego really better than LA? Well, you've come to the right place, my friend, because I'm a native Angelino who actually relocated to San Diego over 20 years ago, so I'm so excited to dive deep into this topic with you, LA versus San Diego. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the channel where we help families seeking more space and a better quality of life move to San Diego from the beaches to the burbs. My name's Emily. I'm a local real estate agent and a mom, and my passion is helping families just like you. So if you're thinking about making a move in a week, a month, or even in a year, reach out to me. I would love to help you. All my information is in the description box below. And there's a link to grab a free Moving to San Diego guide, which is loaded with tons of information about all the suburbs here in San Diego. Let's dive in. All right, in this video, we are comparing not only the cost of living in San Diego versus LA, but we're also gonna be talking about the difference in lifestyles and real estate, so you can really get a sense of what life looks like here compared to LA to figure out if it's gonna be a good fit for you and your family. But first, it's important to note that LA is significantly larger than San Diego in size and in population. As of January 1st, 2024, the city of Los Angeles has approximately 3,980,000 residents. The city of San Diego has approximately 1,426,000 residents. That's approximately 2.8 times the population of San Diego. And as we compare LA County to San Diego County, there's an even larger difference. LA Metro is about 18.7 million residents compared to San Diego at around 4.9 million residents. Therefore, LA has roughly 3.8 times the population that San Diego County has. The significant difference in population affects the lifestyle and vibe of these cities. LA is obviously a much more fast-paced urban, much more culturally diverse. San Diego is gonna feel way more laid back, more of a beach lifestyle, and definitely a much stronger sense of community. All right, let's break this down a little further. So LA and San Diego are very similar in that they both have traffic. LA, though, is on a much bigger scale, where in San Diego, we're notorious for our rush hour traffic. You're gonna hit traffic really bad in the mornings and in the evenings, maybe on the weekends, especially during holidays, because we are a vacation destination, so our freeways are gonna get jammed up during holiday seasons. But LA seems to have traffic any time of the day and night. I've definitely gotten on the freeway at 11 or 12 o'clock at night in LA, and it has been gridlock. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe a concert just let out, or an event, or it's just LA. So you can never ever predict the traffic in LA. So it typically takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get from one end to the other. Where in San Diego, you can pretty much count on just rush hour for your traffic. Next, let's talk about the people in San Diego versus LA. And this was something that was a bit of a culture shock to me when I first moved here to San Diego. So in LA, everyone pretty much keeps to themselves. You don't make eye contact. When you're stuck in an elevator with somebody, you don't make small talk. If you're sitting at a bar or restaurant by yourself, someone won't just start talking to you. People stick to themselves. You don't make eye contact, and it is what it is. Not as rude as New York, but it's the vibe, right? In San Diego, I remember it took me 2 months to realize that people weren't just weirdos trying to flirt with me. People were just nice here. Because what would happen is I'd be walking down the street, walking my dog, and people would say hi to me and try to talk. Or if I was waiting in line at the grocery store and someone just starts talking to you, I just always thought people were creepy. And then I realized I was the ass and that people are just nice here. So that was a bit of a culture shock, but I love it now. So you do have that friendly small town vibe here. And I think the big difference is people are just generally more happy here. They don't have a chip on their shoulder. So when I go back to LA, and I go often because I have family there, and my husband goes with me, he notices, like, if, for example, we're at the grocery store and we're like checking out, the people at the register could care less about you. They're not asking you questions, they're not really giving you eye contact. They all seem super angry and pissed off. And in San Diego, everyone's just got a smile on their face and they're talking about how beautiful the weather is outside. And I don't know if that's a pro or con for you. Some people feel uncomfortable, but trust me, after a couple months here, you just fall in love with the vibe. Another major difference here is the day-to-day. Because San Diego isn't as spread out as LA and we just don't have the same congestion, it's gotten a lot worse over the past 20 years, but it's still nowhere near what LA is. So just doing your day-to-day errands, running around, being out with your kids, or just doing simple errands like going shopping, getting your nails done, and getting a car wash. I remember in LA, that would be like a Saturday for me. There is nothing else going on because it just takes a long time to get from point A to point B with the congestion in the road, the congestion in the parking lots. The stores are so busy, everything just takes longer to do. And I remember moving to San Diego, and because the town is just closer, now I'm talking about the city of San Diego, not way out in the burbs or in like North County or down in Chula Vista. I'm speaking for the city of San Diego and even going into East County, where the beaches, the mall, downtown, and the suburbs are all within 15 minutes of each other. So you can literally grab breakfast at the beach, head to the mall for some shopping, go visit a friend, and be downtown for happy hour in the same day. That would never happen in LA. If you know, you know, because this was something that was a significant improvement in lifestyle for me when I moved to San Diego, is the ease of life. It is just easy here. Everything is easy and accessible and breezy, and with people being friendly, it's just, you've got your small town vibes, but in a big city of San Diego. All right, let's talk travel. So if you're somebody who travels often for business, or if you're fortunate enough and you just travel a lot for vacations, the difference between flying out of LAX versus San Diego International Airport is night and day. LAX is a beast. It takes forever just to get into LAX and to park or get your way through the airport in itself. If you've traveled through LAX, you know what I mean. You have to get there 2 or 3 hours before your flight leaves because it's just so massive. And never mind the fact that you probably don't live that close to LAX because LA is massive, and unless you're living in Inglewood, you're leaving your house at least an hour before your flight. Now, San Diego Airport is equivalent to me, I know I'm exaggerating, but like Burbank Airport. It is small, it is easy. You can leave your house within 30 minutes of your flight if you live in the city of San Diego, and you need to be at the airport in about an hour before your flight. So because everything is so close, you can literally jump on an Uber and be at the airport in 15 to 30 minutes, depending on where you're living in San Diego. Again, this video is really talking about central San Diego from the coast to East County. It's just easy. The airport, it's also so much easier just to maneuver your way around inside the San Diego airport compared to LAX. Just feels like a massive beast. So travel is easy. And PS, flying into LAX and seeing all the industrial stuff around it versus flying into San Diego Airport and you're like flying through the beautiful San Diego skyline overlooking Mission Bay, you see SeaWorld and the ocean. And what is epic is once you are exiting the San Diego Airport and heading home, the first view you get is of the San Diego Harbor with the yachts and boats and the Navy ships, Coronado Bridge, and downtown skyline. I mean, it is just epic. You're always happy to be home when you fly into San Diego. Let's compare the attractions in both cities. Obviously, San Diego and LA both have beautiful beaches. LA's got Santa Monica and Manhattan Beach, Venice Beach, and if you go further north, you've got Malibu and Zuma. So being from LA, I remember if we were going to the beach, unless you lived actually in Santa Monica or Venice, going to the beach was a trek. You just have to get through so much city and so much congestion and park your car, and the beaches, the sand from the boardwalk to where the water is, it's like a mile of sand. It's ridiculous. I'm exaggerating, but it is crazy. It is not easy to just swing by the beach unless you're further down in like Huntington Beach, which I think is closer to, now you're in Orange County. So the LA beaches are not easy to just, you know, pop in and out of. Where in San Diego, we've got the coastline all the way from Oceanside all the way down to National City, and majority of that is easy access, coastal and beach, parking, it's just easy. So to get to the beach for just a few hours is so much more doable than LA, unless again, you're living at the beach in LA. All right, let's talk about some of the attractions for kids and family life. So we have the LA Zoo versus the San Diego Zoo. The LA Zoo is deep almost in Glendale, I believe. It's in Burbank or Glendale. Been there many times growing up. And when I went to the San Diego Zoo, I have to say the San Diego Zoo is just beautiful. It feels less like an urban concrete jungle zoo, and it's lush and beautiful, and it's like you're in a jungle. And it is right there in the city, next door to Balboa Park in downtown San Diego. So again, everything is really close in proximity and easy to get to. So literally the beach to the zoo is about 15 to 20 minutes. And you're right next door to Balboa Park, which is the largest urban park in all of the United States. So it is even larger than Central Park. And Balboa Park has restaurants and playgrounds and museums and botanical gardens and Japanese gardens and an amphitheater, and it's just gorgeous. And so you've got that right next to the zoo. Again, everything in San Diego just feels like it's like a next level epic. Where LA, you've got all the same things, but it's so spread out. So we've got the zoo all the way in Glendale. And then some attractions you have in LA are Universal Studios, and then you've got Magic Mountain up in Valencia, which both are great. Fun fact, I worked at Magic Mountain for a summer just so I could ride Viper for free. A few other notable attractions in San Diego that are family fun favorites are we have SeaWorld right here, which is at Pacific Beach in Mission Bay, and we have Legoland. Both are really easy, and people that live here get season passes because you can just pop in for a couple hours and not feel like you have to stay all day because it's so easy to get in and out of. The attractions in San Diego aren't totally on the outskirts of the city, where in LA, I feel like you've got Universal Studios and Universal, then you're going all the way out to the zoo out in Burbank, and everything is just spread out, and the beach is all the way an hour to the other side, where I am talking about everything again is in 15 minutes of each other. All right, let's talk about the bars and restaurants. So I moved here over 20 years ago, and it was one area of San Diego that totally disappointed me was the lack of good places to eat. There are places like La Jolla, UTC, downtown had a handful of great restaurants, but they were kind of sporadic and throughout. And I remember always coming back up to LA and just loving all the options of so many different types of foods and restaurants and vibes and bougie and hole in the walls and eclectic and all of that. And we were definitely missing that here in San Diego. But I am so happy to report that if you move down to San Diego, you will not be disappointed. The food scene has come a long way here. The bar scene has come a long way here. It's not going to be anywhere near LA. LA is almost 4 times the size of San Diego, and they've been at it for way longer. And let's face it, LA is much more of an urban metropolitan vibe than San Diego. But between downtown and North Park and the beach communities and the harbor and really throughout, we have Kearny Mesa that has all the Asian cuisines. It's no LA. LA for sure trumps us in the bar and restaurant scene, but we do have an amazing scene now here too. All right, let's talk about the active outdoor lifestyle here. This is where it really sets San Diego apart from LA, and this is where San Diego wins. I became a very active outdoor person when I moved here because there's so much to do. San Diego definitely feels like more of a daytime city, where LA doesn't feel like there's much going on during the day and everything happens at night. Between the beaches, the bay, all the hiking and lakes right here in a small proximity, there's always something to do. So let's start with the beaches. Obviously you have beach life here, so people are hanging out at the beach. Surfing is common here, and kiteboarding, all your typical, boogie boarding, all that kind of stuff. But people are also kayaking here and kayaking through the caves of La Jolla, or scuba diving and snorkeling. But because we also have Mission Bay right here, the water is really calm. So people love going boating on Mission Bay. We go fishing and wakeboarding and jet skiing. And those are things that typically I would do when I would go on vacation to like the Caribbean or Mexico when I lived in LA. And it's so awesome because you literally can do that every weekend in the summer or springtime if it's warm enough. The thing is, you don't even need to own any of this equipment. Right there on the bay, they have rentals all over the bay. So you just rent stuff for a couple hours. You can even join the Freedom Boat Club, which we are members of. So you don't have to own a boat. You just kind of pay to be a member of it, and then you just reserve a boat for 3 or 4 hours and you take it out. So we go day cruising and just kind of have some drinks and a picnic on the boat with the kids. Some of the boats have water slides. You can rent out a boat and go wakeboarding for the afternoon. So, just imagine how active the lifestyle is here, and it's because it's easy to do. It's not a big production. You just head down to the bay, you rent your equipment, you go have fun for a few hours, and then you're home in the afternoon. It's amazing. It's like being on vacation year round. The bay is also really well known for sailing. So they do sailing classes, there's rowing, and there's the aquatic center and Mission Bay Yacht Club you can join, which gives you access to a small private beach and all your water toys, which is, I highly recommend. It's not that expensive. So in addition to all the water sports and beach days, we also are really well known for loving to hike. We have hiking trails all over the county. Starting at the beaches, you've got Torrey Pines hiking, which is so highly recommended. There are hiking trails along the coastline, so you're overlooking the ocean. I mean, you can't get better than that. And then we have Sunset Cliffs, which is an easy hiking trail down to the ocean and the tide pools. Amazing sunsets. It's a highly recommended little hike. And if you head east 20 minutes, you have Mission Trails, which has over 60 trailheads, and you can go horseback riding. There's even a campgrounds up there. It's amazing. And then if you head further east, you have Mount Laguna, which is one of my family's favorite places to go hiking. It tends to be cooler there because you're about 4,000 to 5,000 elevation. It's only about an hour from the beaches, but you feel like you have left San Diego and you're in Northern California because you have lush trees and pines, and there's little cabins up there that you can actually even rent. It's amazing and a great little restaurant, but it is amazing for hiking. And fun fact, when it rains a lot in San Diego, it actually dumps snow in Mount Laguna. So it's pretty popular for families to head out to Mount Laguna and just go sledding for the day with the kids. We definitely do it every year. It's super fun. And again, it's so close. And did you know that we have lakes here in San Diego, like in the county of San Diego in East County? So if you're not a beach person, or maybe you just prefer the lake life too, we have lakes right here in the county where you can go fishing or wakeboarding or pull up and even camp for the weekend. It's really cool that you're able to have access to beaches and lakes and hiking and biking and camping right here in the county of San Diego. You do not need to go far. So for family life, I feel like living in San Diego is just such an easy button. You don't need to leave to feel like you're on vacation. Something else that I noticed that was very different and unique to San Diego compared to LA is San Diego is very festive. They like to celebrate everything. So we have festivals and fairs all over the county year round. So for example, in PB, you have PB Beach Fest every year in October. We have Oktoberfest in La Mesa, which was one of the largest Oktoberfest events in all of California. We have the Parade of Lights in Mission Bay, where all the boats get all decked out and do a parade through the water at night, and it's so fun. And we take 4th of July very seriously here in San Diego. I feel like it's a bigger event than like New Year's Eve. People are planning their 4th of July where they're watching the fireworks. The fireworks shows go off from the harbor to PB to SeaWorld. It is just insane, and people make a really, really big deal of it here, and it's really fun. So San Diego really does love celebrating everything and anything and making a really big deal out of regular holidays and obscure holidays, and it's so fun here. And I remember going up to LA during some of these events and the city just feeling kind of like they weren't celebrating anything unless you were like with friends at a barbecue for 4th of July. It wasn't like the whole city was celebrating. All right, let's talk neighborhoods. This is something that's very different from LA compared to San Diego. So LA obviously has many, many diverse types of neighborhoods. The difference to me is LA's neighborhoods are so spread out that the valley is massive, and it feels, really similar all throughout the valley, like the West Valley. You can be driving for miles and miles and miles and it's the same. And then you get over to the West Side and it's miles and miles and miles, similar neighborhoods and real estates and shops and restaurants. You get over to West Hollywood and Hollywood, they're very different, but you're talking miles apart, half-hour difference. Here in San Diego, you're downtown with the high rises is within 5 minutes of what is similar to Los Feliz, which would be like North Park. And then you have Claremont, which is just 10 minutes north of that, which is more of like a sleepy suburb. And you've got Pacific Beach, which is your beach community, which is, 5 miles from that. So in this small area of 10 miles, you've got all these diverse neighborhoods. So you can just really pick your poison, and you don't need to sacrifice how far you're moving from the city to be able to get into your type of neighborhood. So if you're looking for something that's more walkable and trendy, you've got Normal Heights and North Park and Kensington, Mission Hills. If you're looking for something that's more suburban and family friendly with larger homes, quiet, you've got places like Claremont and Mission Valley. Your beach communities, you've got Pacific Beach and Ocean Beach. Those are all really great communities. You've got walkable areas, you've got hillside homes with views. And then if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable and suburban, more land, more space, more breathing room, you head further east, you've got La Mesa and El Cajon, Santee. And then we have rural, which is Alpine, which is just 30 minutes east of downtown and the beaches, but you literally are in the country, which I can't think of one town in LA where you've got country life. You literally have country life 30 minutes from the city, where people have equestrian properties and goats and sheep, and it's totally rural. But Alpine also has a gated, affluent community. So the diversity here in San Diego when it comes to real estate and communities, in some ways, I feel like totally trumps LA, because LA is just so sprawling. All right, so you've made it this far into the video, and I am curious, so far, are you Team LA or are you Team San Diego? You ready to get into the cost of living? Because the big debate is it more expensive to live in LA or San Diego? Especially with that report that just came out saying San Diego is the most expensive city in all of the United States, which I just disagree with, because you definitely are gonna pay much higher rents and real estate in other parts of the country, but let's dive in. So LA's median home price as of 2024 is about 1.1 million, and San Diego's median home price is about 950,000. We are inching up to $1 million. So the gap isn't that big, but San Diego is still a little bit more affordable. But I think what's really important to take into consideration when you're looking at the real estate of two places is, in LA, what does 1.2 million get you, and how close are you to city center and all the attractions? Because in San Diego, yes, home prices may be at 1.2 million, which is expensive, but you may be 10 minutes from the beach, downtown, great food, nightlife, but still in a nice sleepy suburb. Like, it checks off a lot of boxes for the same price as maybe 1.2 million, and you may be all the way out in the valley, not close to anything. No offense, I grew up in the valley, but I'm just saying. All right, let's compare rents. So this is a one-bedroom apartment. So a typical one-bedroom apartment in LA now is between $2,000 and $3,000, and a one-bedroom apartment in San Diego is about $1,800 to $2,400. So as far as rents go, yeah, San Diego is definitely less expensive. Now, all these other areas, they're all comparable. Transportation, both of us suck in public transportation. We have buses, we have a trolley, LA has a metro, but typically both cities require you to have a car because our public transportation isn't great and the cities are just sprawling. And the cost of utilities in both cities is the same. It's between $250 to $500 a month, depending on the size of your family and how much you're using in electricity and water, but the cost is the same. Food and dining, the restaurants, the food at the grocery stores, again, it's all the same. You know what's not the same is car insurance. So car insurance in San Diego is actually a little bit less expensive. So according to NerdWallet, in LA, your car insurance is averaging about $2,200 to $2,400 a year, where in San Diego, the average car insurance is about $1,500 a year. Of course, that depends on the type of car you're driving as well. And last but not least, local tax in San Diego is 7.75, and in LA, it's 9.5%. So there is a little bit of a spread there. Property taxes are very similar. San Diego, it's 1.25%, and in LA, it's 1.22%. So I would say all in all, the cost of living in San Diego versus LA, aside from real estate and rent, is about the same. The difference in real estate, you are gonna save a little bit more money moving here, but what I would really encourage you to do is compare your lifestyle for that cost of real estate, what you get in LA versus what you get here in San Diego. So San Diego is definitely known for its more laid-back lifestyle, but yet it still has a very strong city-urban community here with lots of culture and diversity. And LA, of course, is the entertainment capital of the world. It's LA, it's got your best shopping and restaurants and nightlife. All right, so tell me in the comments, at this stage in your life, which city do you feel like is a better fit for your family, LA or San Diego? And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, whether you're thinking about moving in 3 weeks, 3 months, or a year. give me a call, shoot me a text, send me a message, or better yet, click the link below and schedule a Zoom with me. And don't forget to grab your free Moving to San Diego guide.